Drew Lock is a sleeper cell. He's working for the government. And more on today's episode.
Nothing more needs to be said. I'm Devin, that's Zane, and this is Buffet Sports. Let's get into Week 17 of the NFL.
Yeah, okay, good morning, afternoon, and evening. It's the guy you should believe in. Dropping heat like every season. Underdog like Willie Beeman. Classic like Dom singing. Blasting like bombs.
Week 17 of the NFL, mother heifers. Let's talk about it. So, do we want to start with the 5 internet things? You got something you want to go with first?
I have an opening question.
All right, hit me with it.
So,
Oh, wait, before we go. Merch isn't coming soon. Go.
All right, so it is week 18. We have
Coming
1
up,
week
yep.
left. We have 1 week left of regular football, and then
Yes.
playoffs and Super Bowl.
Yep.
So, what better of a week to talk about the draft?
We've been he's been hounding the draft, talking about the draft. Like, he's already there. I don't know
I'm
why
already
either.
at draft
I don't
day.
know why you are. The Ravens are in the playoffs and clinched a playoff spot, and you're like, draft. I guess you're bored. You don't
Draft
have anything.
day.
You don't have anything to play for till playoffs start.
I need to talk about these young bucks getting in. I need to get them right. I need to know who's going to be a bust or not.
All of
So-
them are going to be bust.
What is your early draft rot take?
Are you alluding to what we talked about earlier?
A little bit.
Okay.
You don't have to say it, but
Okay.
if you want to, you could say it.
I don't want to steal that thunder. Can I outline what we were talking about, and then I'll give mine?
Yeah, just give yours.
Okay. Early draft rot take. Quinn Ewers climbs to a first-round pick.
Ooh, that's a good one.
There's a lot of teams. There's more teams than we think that have ended up with top 10 picks that need quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
And Shador and Cam are going to go high. They're going to go high, and then there's going to be some team that gets draft rot brain into thinking they need a quarterback rather than taking a lineman when they should.
Yeah.
And it's probably going to be the Browns.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, Quinn Ewers is a gunslinger. I think if I had to say early draft route take, he works his way up into a first-round pick.
My early draft rot take is Jerry Jones does Jerry Jones things, and he goes, Rico Dowdle was pretty good at the end of this year. Genty, we don't need him.
So where does Genty fall, you think?
The very next pick.
The very next pick?
Yeah, like the very next pick.
What do they have right now?
I think they're like 15th.
Okay.
15th or 14th.
Let's see.
They're like in the middle. But I could totally see
Yeah, for sure.
Jerry going, Rico, he was playing great at the end of the year.
Yeah, we'll just go we've got Zeke back. That's all we need.
Yeah, we got Zeke back. Yeah, flip it with the Jonathan Bingo. We got a second-round pick for a fourth round.
Yeah.
That seems pretty damn good.
I think, let's see, the Cowboys are currently 13, so the next pick would be the Cardinals.
What's after that? What's a team that you could see for sure taking?
If I can get through all these ads that CBS has, the Dolphins.
I can't see him taking a running back.
Bengals are next.
Bengals, yeah.
Whew.
Bengals, yeah.
Ooh, you give Joe Burrow, Ashton Genty.
Oh,
dog.
yeah.
Dog.
That's my draft rot take is everybody's going to be like, yeah, he's definitely going to be.
falls to the Bengals.
Yeah, they're going to everybody's going to be like, yes, he is the best running back in this class.
Uh-huh.
He's going to go to the Cowboys. The Cowboys need him. Jerry's going to go, you know what? I don't think so. I don't think we need him. Maybe another wide receiver. Actually.
Even though the Bengals, that's their last need technically.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I can see it. Because the next few picks, you got the Falcons, Seahawks, Texans, then the Broncos. If he falls all the way to the Broncos, I'll be so happy. Yeah. But I don't think any team after that that's near that's going to take it. Colts have Jonathan Taylor. Niners are banking on McCaffrey coming back. Saints have Alvin Kamara unless they trade him. Bears aren't going to take him. Raiders, Jets. Yeah.
Sorry, Cowboys fans.
So
your owner's going to do.
I actually love that. I would love to see Ashton Genty in a Bengals uniform. That'd be sick.
Yeah, I would love that too. That'd be so sweet, especially with how great Joe's been and how basically he's won over the hearts of everyone. Mm-hmm. It takes one bad season, but he plays fantastic, and I don't think there's a single Joe Burrow hater out there right now.
No.
Yeah, so I would love it.
So you want to hear you talked about draft route hot take. My mind has been on the MVP Okay, and we've talked about this. My hot take: Joe Burrow's the MVP. I don't know why. Like, I understand that Josh has been playing hasn't had turnovers and has kind of been playing like an alien, and Lamar has been playing his best statistical season, and they've got more wins. But Joe Burrow is the Bengals offense. He's number one in. He's number one in. He's top 5 in completion percentage. He's number 1 in passing yards. Number 1 in touchdowns. Nowhere near the top 10 in interceptions, and he's been sacked the 5th most in the NFL.
Damn.
So and then if the Broncos fumble their way out of a playoff spot, and the Dolphins lose to the Jets, and then the Bengals pull off the impossible and beat the Steelers, and they make it into the playoffs. This is the closest thing we'll ever have to Russell Westbrook winning an MVP while being like the 8th seed going into the playoffs. Yeah. If they sneak into the playoffs at the 7, I think he's got a legitimate argument to be the MVP. We've gone back and forth. Our wins a QB stat. When we're talking about the Bengals, they are. Yeah, they're a QB stat, and all 9 of their wins, 10 if they get it, will be because Joe Burrow balled out and was the best player in 2024, but is not getting the praise he should. I think he is by the general media, but not by mainstream media of being a real MVP candidate, because the title is most valuable player. Yeah. And he is, by definition, the most valuable player in the NFL to his team.
And I bet you, if you go and you look at that take on the internet, people in the comments are going to be like, but they're 8-8 and not in the playoffs. Yeah. So that just proves that people do take wins as a QB stat. Yeah. It's official. Yeah. As of right now, it's official. Wins are a QB stat.
Yeah. And I would love to bet on it. It's so long odds and not going to happen that I won't. But if I had to give a hot take, and it's not even that hot, I think, anymore, Joe Burrow should be the MVP. I'm sorry, Josh. I called it. I mean, if he wins MVP, I'd look great because I called it. But at the same time, it's to me, you just look at it and he's just far and away the best quarterback in the NFL.
We got to grab the clip for you saying Josh Allen's going to be the MVP.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into the top 5.
Top 5 things from the internet that made me smile, laugh, cry, whatever it may have been this week. We start off going all the way back to 2001, the year we were born.
Really?
Okay. I just saw the stat. It's incredible. Okay. The 2001 Miami Hurricanes would have gone 8-4 if the offense never scored a touchdown.
What?
FYI, the offense scored 50 touchdowns that year.
Jesus.
That's how good they were.
Jesus. No, that was I don't think Ray Lewis was on there, but Ed Reed was on that team. For sure. And then there was a couple other big names.
I could look. I didn't look at who it was that was on that team, but brother, 50 touchdowns. They still went 8-4.
Yeah, bro. Them Florida boys are built different.
They are. So
that's when it was like, if you were in Florida, you're trying to get to the big U.
Yeah. I just had to bring that out because that was incredible. Yeah, I saw that this week and I was like, that's insane.
Damn. We'll never see something like that again.
We'll never see something like that again. The next one here is just hilarious. This is a tweet stream that I saw, and it's the user's name is Chickens and Mentals Caretaker. That's his name on Twitter.
Hell yeah.
And his tweet stream is, Young Hoku, send us home. Okay, this is the Falcons Commanders game last night. Young Hoku, send us home. Wait, keep in mind, all these are in all caps. Okay, so Young Hoku, send us home. The next tweet, wait, who's this white guy? And then the next one, these are all within 30 seconds of each other. Yeah. And the next one is, no. And the duality of man.
Yeah.
The duality of man. I just thought that was hilarious because I don't think it flew under the radar. Like, I didn't know Young Hoku wasn't playing. Yeah. And then we saw him come out because they kept saying Riley, and I'm like, who's this Riley guy? It was
Patterson.
Yeah, it was Patterson. And then he just had the worst miss ever.
Yeah. You know, they wanted to make the field goals. They wanted to put them closer together because people were dinking them too well.
Not this year.
They were sinking them. No, at the beginning of the year.
Oh.
They were sinking everything. And they're like, you know what? We should probably move those closer. Yeah. Make it more of a challenge.
Nope. And then the next one here, this was just downright funny. You saw it. The Kenny Pickett throw.
Yes.
I've got two angles to put up on the screen here. The first one is this one, up close and personal. He threw a fake with his whole body. This was the full screen. It's like in baseball when they put the sap on their fingers or whatever, the tar, so that they can throw the ball harder. That's what it looked like. It looked like I don't even know how do you do that?
You know, if he wouldn't have fumbled that, if he just had bigger hands. That's why that stat exists. Big hands for QBs. It's so they can do stuff like that. He probably has small hands. It's the reason why he fumbled it. Eagles should have looked into that before they signed Kenny Pickett.
And then this next one here is, well, I have to preface this. I have to ask you, is there anything you want to go to before we go to QB corner? Because it depends on the order I do this. Okay. White man. Okay, that's fine. We'll still go it this way. So in honor of White Man, everyone knows about Antonio Brown's White Man Cracker of the Year awards.
Cracker
right?
of the Year.
Joe Rogan won Cracker Podcast Episode of the Year. Joe Rogan, Donald Trump was the episode specifically. Joe Rogan responded to Antonio Brown and said, "This is a great honor and the only award I've ever won that I care about." And I just thought that's so funny that there's so many ways Joe could respond to that, and that was the right answer. That was the right answer. I thought that was hilarious.
Shane had a similar thing where he was like, "Man, I'm so honored that I won this award."
Yeah. And then the last one here is, there's a man, that was drafted by the Broncos. In 2016. He's played on a couple different teams, and he has a performance once a year where he turns the NFL upside down and proves that
spanks it.
He should be that he was the Broncos made the right choice.
Yeah.
Okay. His name is Drew Lock, and he turned into prime Eli Manning this year. Okay. Drew Lock successfully, this week, what was it? What was the tweet? Here it is. Drew Lock successfully got eliminated the Colts from the playoffs.
Hell yeah.
Got Malik Neighbors to 1,000 yards in his rookie year.
Hell yeah.
Threw for 4 touchdowns.
Hell yeah.
1 on the ground.
Hell yeah.
And saved Brian Daboll's job.
Hell yeah.
Drew Lock did the incredible this week.
Did the impossible.
The first Giants quarterback since Eli Manning to have 300-plus passing yards, 4 passing touchdowns, and a rushing touchdown since 2014, the first since Eli Manning. I mean, this guy's just I don't know what to say.
Eli Manning's his comp. I don't know what to say.
Drew, put it on for my city, Lock. What a fantastic, what a awesome moment for Broncos alum. I wish I could have watched that game. That would have been awesome as a Sunday night game. It was like 42-47 for no reason, and the Colts are trotting out Joe Flacco. Drew Lock has an incredible game. It just would have been so funny to watch. So.
Yeah, especially with how shit these primetime games have been.
So there are the top 5 things from the internet that made me smile this week. Are you ready?
Yeah.
For White Man of the Week.
Now, this one, I gotta get the smiles out. Because this one's a little bit more serious.
Oh.
It would be considered scary even. Some people would say. This White Man of the Week, the story this week for this man is sleeper agent, brainwashing, and controversy.
Okay.
So we're going to start this conversation off with Tom Brady. The greatest quarterback to ever exist. Won a crap ton of Super Bowls. His first Super Bowl, he won in St. Louis, Missouri. It's his first Super Bowl versus the Rams.
Okay.
Remember St. Louis, Missouri.
Okay.
So then, he goes through his career, and he had a couple of adversaries. One of them was Peyton Manning.
Okay.
Now, Peyton Manning never beat him in a Super Bowl.
Yeah,
but
right.
in their last 3 outings, Peyton Manning won all 3. 2 of those in Denver.
Oh.
So in the last 3 outings, Peyton Manning was up on Tom Brady.
Okay.
Then we go to Seattle. Now, Tom Brady beat the Seattle Seahawks.
He did.
But what do you say when you talk about that Super Bowl?
The pick, Malcolm Butler.
You talk about the pick. You talk about the defense. You don't talk about Tom Brady. Now, do you think the psycho of the greatest quarterback to ever exist, you think he likes that they talk about the defense instead of him for that Super Bowl win? No, he doesn't like that. He hates that.
Okay.
And then, obviously, we go to New York, where Eli Manning beats him in the Super Bowl.
Okay.
The helmet catch.
Yes.
You think Tom Brady liked that?
No.
He didn't like that at all. So you know what he did?
What did he do?
He went and he got a guy and he brainwashed him and he made him into a sleeper agent to destroy these 3 franchises. It's a guy who grew up in Missouri. It's a guy who played quarterback for Missouri. This week's White Man of the Week is Drew Lock, the sleeper agent that Tom Brady has created. He's been on all 3.
He has been.
He's been on all 3.
He has been.
So Drew Lock this week, as you said, could you read that off again? Of what he did.
Of what he did
the
comparative
stats.
to Eli Manning?
No, I have the stats. I want you to read off like the things that he saved.
Oh, the things that he saved.
Yeah.
He eliminated the Colts from the playoffs, got Malik Neighbors to 1,000 yards on the season. He successfully saved Brian Daboll's job and was the first quarterback since Eli Manning to throw for 300 plus, 4+ touchdowns, and a rushing touchdown.
So, Peyton Manning was also on the Colts. Just quick point.
Yeah, there you go.
But he also knocked the Giants out of their first seed. They're now the 6th seed, the 5th seed.
Yeah.
So he is a sleeper agent. Because
He's talking about the draft.
the draft, obviously, because he did the unthinkable. He threw for 73%, 309, and 4 TDs, and then 1 rushing, like you said.
Just for no reason.
And for no reason. And you know what he looked like? He looked like prime Tom Brady. He got brainwashed before that game, and Tom Brady made him just play outstanding to ruin another one of his adversaries in the postseason. So, actually, you know what? Tom, congratulations, because this was all Tom's doing. Tom Brady, congratulations on continuing to win even after your retirement. And Drew, hell of a game.
Hell of a game.
I heard ice showers help with brainwashing.
That was this week. White Man of the Week. Okay. Are you ready to go with QB Corner?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, before we start, I have a meme list for QB Corner first.
Okay.
That I had to do. So these are the 3 guys that I can't logically put on the list, but somehow played really well. Okay. Mm-hmm. So Tanner McKee.
Who?
Rookie quarterback out for the Eagles, played this week after Kenny Pickett did that shit. He was 3 of 4.
Hell yeah.
54 yards.
Hell yeah.
2 touchdowns.
Hell yeah.
No interceptions.
Hell yeah.
And A.J. Brown threw his first touchdown pass in the league into the stands.
Hell yeah.
They did get it back, though. So he was the number 1 on the meme list of the QB Corner. Number 2 was Mitch Trubisky.
Hell yeah.
He threw 1 pass for 69 yards for a touchdown. No interceptions.
Jay Cutler archetype.
And had a 158.3 passer rating.
Look out! It's a missile.
That game meant nothing. It was a blowout. Mitch Trubisky came in and threw 1 pass and scored.
Yeah, he threw 1 pass, walked out the field.
And then the final
with the
guy,
Cheesecake Factory.
We were just talking about him, a guy that we haven't seen all year, that we were surprised we hadn't seen him yet. Joshua Dobbs.
Hell yeah.
4 passes, completed 3 of them, 35 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions, but 1 rush for 7 yards and a touchdown tonight on Monday Night Football against the Lions. Josh Dobbs, the league almost forgot about you. Welcome back, buddy.
Welcome back,
We're going to probably see him next week. Brock Purdy,
hope so.
We got a notification right before we started filming that Brock Purdy is potentially out next week. He's dealing with a nerve injury in his right arm, his throwing arm, that he had surgery on with the UCL. So prayers up for Brock Purdy. But We're probably going to see Josh Dobbs next week. So
I'm excited to watch him.
I mean,
the Pasternaut's back. I mean, I needed that just for my mental.
Yeah.
I was one guy cutting me off from, going 80 into the turnpike until I saw Josh Dobbs walk on that field.
So there's the meme list, kind of a return of where we were with the quarterback or the rookies earlier in the year. But we head up to the big boys here now, starting at number 1 here. This was there's actually some pretty good quarterback play this week, surprisingly. And so this was kind of a mix for me in terms of narratives, as the front half of the list is pretty narrative driven for me. I'll say that. And the back half of the list is then kind of gets into stats. Mm-hmm. Obviously the front half of the list, there's stats involved, but it's very narrative driven.
Then I think the first guy is probably the same.
Yeah, Joe Burrow's number 1.
Yeah, Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow's number 1. He threw 39 of 49, only had 10 incompletions, 417 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. All 3 were to T. Higgins, by the way. 4 rushes for 25 yards and a win against a Denver defense that is number 1 in sacks in the NFL. So he's got to go number 1. He single-handedly literally willed that team into a win after Cade York doinked a 33-yard field goal off and somehow found a way to win that game. So we're agreeable of Joe at 1. Okay, Joe at 1. At 2, I've got our white man of the week, Drew Lock.
You got him at 2?
I have him at 2. I mean, he did all the things that we've named off continuously at this point. There's no reason he should have done it.
Yeah.
And statistically, it was crazy. And then, as you pointed out with the narrative, it's all there. So I've got Drew Lock there. We've said his stats repeatedly at this point, but why not go one more time for good measure? 17 of 23, by the way, 6 incompletions, 309, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, 4 rushes, 1 yard, and 1 rushing touchdown against the Colts. Drew put on for my city motherfucking Lock at number 2.
I love it.
Okay.
I can't counter a Drew Lock when it hits that close to home. I can't counter it.
Okay. Drew at 2. 3, I've got Baker Mayfield. He did what I've been asking him to. It was the Panthers, but he didn't throw a pick, and he had a monster game. So 27 of 32, only 5 incompletions, 359 yards, 5 touchdowns, no interceptions. Most touchdowns on the week, and just, finally showed up. It was a must-win game. It was against the Panthers, but it was a must-win game to get into the playoffs.
Yeah, he was my 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're fine there?
Yeah, I like it.
So Baker at 3 here. Number 4, I actually have Jaden Daniels. Ooh. He had a rookie duel with Michael Penis this week. He threw 24 of 36, threw 227 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. But this is what really just set it off for me, and I didn't realize he ran this much. 16 rushes for 127 yards.
Damn.
No touchdowns. Led all rushers in the game.
Yeah, and he broke RG3's record.
Broke RG3's record. So it was a record game. W against the Falcons. It didn't mean much in terms of the playoff narrative, but 127 yards. I mean, I didn't realize he ran that much, and that's why I looked over at you and I was like, we forgot Penis and JD, because I was like, it was just incredible. So I've got him at 4. How do you feel about that?
I do have a counter, but the rushing yards definitely make it a lot closer. Mm-hmm. If he didn't have those rushing yards, I would say that I for sure won this one.
Okay.
But I have Sam Darnold, 33 for 43,
okay,
377 yards, 3 TDs, 1 interception.
Yep.
Versus a division rival.
Yes, versus it is a bigger spot. I kind of was like, after writing down this guy and 5, I have Sam at 6 right now. Oof. And so after writing him down, Jaden down, and then the guy I have at 5, I had Sam. And then after I looked at it, I was like, yeah, that's kind of a really big game, especially in the idea of the next Jaden, the game didn't make a big difference, and 5, the game didn't make a big difference either. But Sam, it was to keep them in the ability to get the 1 seed. So I'm fine if you want to throw him up at Sam at 4.
Yeah, okay. I like that. So Sam at 4. It was a huge game, and I think for sure Jaden goes 5 with especially this was the night that he broke RG3's rushing record.
Yes.
So I think for sure.
I'm fine with Jaden at 5. So then that moves Pat to 6 then. I have
Ooh,
Patrick
Patrick
Mahomes
was
at
my
6.
5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have Pat at 6, 29 to 38, 320, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. I asked him to win a game by 2 scores. They did it. He
Versus
has
Pittsburgh, too.
Versus Pittsburgh. Great defense. TJ Watt's a little banged up, but nonetheless, they manhandled the Pittsburgh team on Christmas, took care of business. The whole team looked insane. Xavier Worthy looks like a insane weapon now that he's in the place he should be in terms of in the offense. They talked about a lot about it during the broadcast.
Yeah, I don't like how good they're looking.
Yeah.
With one more game left and then the playoffs. I don't know. I hate how they are heating up. Towards the end of the year.
So are we fine with Pat at 6?
We're fine.
Okay, Pat at 6. At 7 is where I have Jared Goff. We saw him tonight. For the first half, I don't think there was a dropped ball.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure through the first half. So he ended the game 26 of 34, 303, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. The game, again, meant nothing, but it pretty much keeps them even with the Vikings to potentially can hold their 1 seed. So
I'm going to counter. I do not have this person's rushing yards, though, but I'm just going to counter based on crazy completion percentage and what he was able to do with the little amount that he threw. I have Lamar Jackson, 10 for 15. He only completed 10 balls, but that was for 168 yards and 2 TDs. And it was meaningful because they haven't clinched up anything.
Well, they won the division.
That game got him?
That won them the division. He had 87 rushing yards and a touchdown. It was against a Houston team that, I don't know how to feel about the Houston team.
Yes.
That's the only thing there that I don't know how to feel about it.
I think the only thing that I would to look at here is that he had 168 yards and 2 TDs off of 10 throws. 10 completions. That's pretty insane.
Yeah. The only thing for me, I look at it on the other side, and I know it's not Lamar's fault, but CJ didn't play a great game, so he wasn't asked to do much in a way.
Yeah, true. And they ran the hell out of that ball.
They ran the hell out of that ball. So you can toss it up either way. I had Lamar at 10.
You have him
there's
at 10.
Yeah, there's a couple guys in between that I think the games mattered a little bit more, and they did a little bit more personally.
Well, let's put Goff there
at
and
7.
Then we'll go next. And if I think that Lamar has any footing, then I'll bring him up again.
Okay, I have Josh at 8 is where I have Josh. 182. What?
Who'd they play?
They played the Jets. They 182, 16 to 27, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, 5 rushes, 17 yards, 1 touchdown. If you want to put Lamar over him, I'm fine with that because that game is bigger than the Jets game.
Yeah.
So that, if we can slide Lamar above him. So let's just go through the rest of them and see how they land. Because next I had Goff and Josh. I have Justin Herbert.
I got Justin Herbert.
Okay, that's where I had him at 9. Herbie ended 26 of 38, 281, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, 3 rushes, 12 yards against the Patriots. So kind of but he had 3 touchdowns, 281. And then 10 is where I had Lamar. So how do you want to order that group then?
How big do you think that win was? Because they did clinch the division, as you said.
Who?
Lamar. The Baltimore Ravens.
The one that I put up in terms of gravity of game, it was the Patriots, but the Chargers had to win and get in.
Yeah.
So they clinched the 6th seed with that game and kind of knock out a couple teams that, not knock out, but make it tougher for obviously the bottom 3 teams that we're going to talk about when we do picks. That game, there's a little bit more on the line. The Falcons were going to make, or sorry, not the Falcons. The Ravens were going to make the playoffs either way.
Yeah.
This game was just, do we get a home playoff game to start the year or not?
Gotcha.
So that's the only one that I have a little bit more gravity
I like
to.
Justin over Lamar for that.
Okay, so Goff, Herbert, Lamar, Josh.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. Jets are reeling. They don't even look like a football team right now.
No. So Goff, who did we say? Goff, Herbert?
Yeah, Herbert.
Goff, Herbert. Okay, Herbie. Lamar.
In that Goff game, that was big for them.
Yeah.
It wasn't big.
Just a mentality game. Yeah.
But for them, it was a huge game for them.
Okay, so we ended with Joe Burrow, Drew Lock, Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, Jaden Daniels, Patrick Mahomes, Jared Goff, Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson, and Josh Allen at 10. Is there any honorable mentions you want to throw in? I kind of honestly want to throw Bo in there just for showing up in that big of a game. And
I would like to throw if you're throwing in a rookie, I'd like to throw in Michael Penis as well.
Michael Penis as well. I didn't grab his stats, so I don't know what it was. It was like 202 something.
Yeah, he threw 2 picks that game. But, I mean, second game, it was close for a team that's going to be in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I think he stood
I mean,
up
they've
in the
still got a
moment.
shot at the playoffs.
Yeah.
They still have a shot at the playoffs.
A lot of people, after watching that game, were like, damn, I like him. You know, nobody was like, this guy stinks. So I think he should be an honorable mention.
So Bo and Michael.
Yeah.
Or honorable mentions. Yeah. Cardinals stunk that game up. Mac Attack didn't really have a good game. Mason didn't have a great game. Geno was a Geno game against Chicago. They put up fucking 6 points. Caleb played terrible. So yeah, I think those are the only other 2 guys.
Yeah, Caleb was the worst QB in the league this week.
Yeah, he was really bad. But I think those are the only 2 guys that I can really look at down the list outside of, like, Flacco had a decent game. Honestly, Aiden had a good game.
Yeah.
Shout out
Flacco did.
Aiden. I mean, it wasn't against a very prestigious team, but like Flacco and Aiden didn't throw any interceptions. 242, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Flacco just threw 2 picks, so and he lost Drew Lock. Yeah. Okay.
No, he lost to Tom Brady.
You're right. He lost to Tom Brady. Okay, there it is. There is QB corner. Ready to get into picks?
I'm so ready.
We have some really interesting games. We got a lot of games to focus on here. We have not gotten to this weekend is college football playoffs, so no predictions obviously there unless you want to make any changes.
No,
okay.
I'm locked in
Locked
on my
in.
boys.
Okay.
I don't feel any sort of way about any of the things that I've said.
Yeah.
I'm like 100% confident.
Yeah.
Which I was last week, and
Yeah.
I think I got 2 right. So.
Yeah. We'll see. So let's get into the NFL. We start on Saturday with the Browns and Ravens. This game pretty much means nothing aside from the Browns losing to get a better draft pick. So I'm going to take the Ravens here.
Yeah, there's a crazy stat that Dorian Thompson-Robinson has thrown 1 TD to 10 interceptions. He has the worst rating in the league. Put my boy, my savior, back out on the field, please. Anything's better than him.
I think the danger is that Jameis can win them a game.
Yeah.
Like that. Honestly, I think that's where it is. Where they're like, we can't play Jameis not because he's our best option, but because he's our best option, and we need to tank.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I will also take the Ravens.
Yeah. Who's their backup? Who are we going to see in the second half? Because they're not going to play the whole. He's not going to play the whole game.
No, he's not. It's not.
It's not Tyler Huntley because he's in. He's in Miami.
Used to be though, right?
Yeah.
Who is it?
Tyrod? No, not Tyrod Taylor. The other guy. His last name's Johnson. He's played in like 17 different places. We'll outline him next week. I'll grab all his stats and all the places he's played in, but he is a professional. He's played in 3 different professional football leagues, XFL, Canadian Football League, and the NFL, and he's played on literally like 30-plus pro teams.
There's a vet on that team as well, but I don't think he would be the starter. I think he's the 3rd string, and he's just there for like vibes.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Okay, so we're both taking the Ravens. Saturday night, the game that actually matters, Bengals at Steelers. Joe Burrow, can he get the job done against the Steelers and give them life if the Broncos somehow, again, fuck their way out of a playoff spot and lose that game against the Chiefs? We're going to talk about that game, but can he do the impossible and beat the Steelers? I think for Broncos' sake and for, like, the streak has to come to an end, and for me to, like, relinquish the Joe Burrow MVP, he's gonna lose this game, and it's gonna be in the worst way possible. Ooh. And like, so they're gonna win this game if you take out some dumb play from Cade York or a something stupid's gonna happen, and they lose this game. So I'm gonna take the Steelers in this game.
I think it's the opposite. I have the opposite way of looking at this game. It is, can the Steelers beat the Bengals? That is how I'm looking at it, because these past couple of weeks they have not looked like themselves.
Well, they haven't had George Pickens.
Yeah. They haven't had George Pickens, and TJ Watt, I said he was going to be 80%, 90%. Hopefully he is this time around. Yeah. But, I mean, they were just, like, getting beat up on these last 2 weeks. They have not looked anywhere near what they have been. And, you know, maybe you're right about Russ a little bit. A little bit. I don't know. Maybe he can show up. Maybe he can prove me wrong. But, obviously, right now, Bengals are hot.
They're so hot.
They are so hot.
Yeah, they're like Megan
Fox. Give me Megan Fox.
You want Megan Fox?
Yeah, give me Megan Fox.
All right, there you go. Last primetime game of the week before we get into some of the highlight games we're going to talk about. We have no Monday Night Football, so we end on Sunday night with prime times. This is the best game of the week and the game that matters arguably the most in the NFL this week. Vikings at Lions. It's incredible. We potentially could see a 14-win team in the wild card of the NFC.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
That would be crazy.
So
I need you to go first.
I need you to go first.
I've invoked it. I'm putting out my card. You go first.
Oh gosh. Man, there's two ways to look at this game. The Lions played the whole game. Thankfully, no one died.
Yeah.
And so they made it through the game. It was hilarious because like Jahmyr Gibbs had that last touchdown run, cashed my parlay, God bless. And then they got off the field and they were like, finally, the Lions offense is going to get off the field and end this game. And there was like 3 minutes left. And so it's like, it was kind of like, okay, I get it. But like, they didn't really get a bye in any shape, way, or form. Defense stayed healthy, thank the Lord. They're getting some cavalry guys back. They're getting some guys back. I think they've got 2 more guys that are coming back after this week on the defense. They've got their defense got more reps, which is always helpful. The Vikings and Sam Darnold, I think the Cinderella story ends here. But here's my hot take. We see them in the NFC Championship.
Ooh.
So they lose this game to the Lions, get the 5 seed, and then win out to the NFC Championship.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to check in with me come championship weekend, where we're gonna decide who's gonna win that game. But as it stands right now, I'm gonna take the Lions in this grit and grime. David Montgomery may be back.
That was no. What information are you going off with that?
I was looking at some stuff earlier today with just like Lions Twitter, and then obviously they were talking about it during the week or during the broadcast that he could potentially he has to get cleared. But
what I heard was they were talking to Dan, and Dan said if you ask David Montgomery, he said he's going to play next week.
Yeah.
Now he has to get the doctors to say
that. He has to get cleared, but I don't count it out. Now, is he going to be playing all the time? No. But what is David's superpower between the 20s? So, or not between the 20s, 20 and in is his superpower. So, I mean, if you get 3 carries for David Montgomery and they're all on the goal line, can his knee hold up to where he just needs to run a straight line like a bowling ball? And I think he can. If he does play, I don't know if he will. But just grit and grime, this game meant nothing, and the fact that they still came out and played. The fact that Jared Goff, it has leaned on him more the last couple weeks. Have the games mattered? No. But it's leaned more on him. He's played well. Sam Laporte is picking up to what he looked like last year. Amon-Ra has picked it up. He's been good all year, but like he's been a dog. Jahmyr Gibbs has proven to me at least that he can run both between the tackles and outside, do everything on the football field. He is prime Sonic. So I'm going to just go with my balls here and go Lions.
Okay. I am worried about how good the 49ers offense looked against the Lions.
Yeah.
I'm very worried about that. They looked like a super high-powered offense, and they haven't looked like that all year.
Yeah.
But versus them, they did. Obviously,
it's Brock Purdy contract game.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, and if those 2 picks didn't happen and Moody made those field goals,
anything tonight,
it would have been a lot closer.
Yeah.
I saw somebody tweeted out if Moody hit all of his field goals, they would have had the ball with 2 minutes 30 left, and it would have been a 6-point game.
Yeah.
So they could have went down and scored there.
To that effect, though, I will say this, that Aaron Glenn was not as aggressive as he's been. So he was holding back this game. Yeah. They were talking about during the broadcast that they are a high, pass rush team in terms of like frequency, and it was on the lower end tonight. So he was playing more conservative to keep probably some of those guys healthy.
Yeah.
So I understand that point. At the same time, they were playing a more conservative style of defense to make it through this game while still winning it. Yeah. So I take that's the reason why that doesn't worry me as much, and we've seen these guys show up in big games. So
gotcha. And the other thing was the 49ers being able to run the ball against the Detroit Lions. That usually never happens.
It's DJ Reader's like first game back.
Yeah. Am I also worried because it's Aaron Jones and Cam Akers, and Aaron Jones hasn't really been good in the latter half of the year?
Right.
Yes, for sure. But it was also both a Shanahan offense is what you're going to be playing, what you just played and what you're going to be playing. And we saw how effective
And Sam's
that
more
was.
athletic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we saw how effective that Shanahan offense was versus the Lions defense.
I think the matchup is Terrion Arnold versus Justin Jefferson. Like, Terrion Arnold generally seems to pick up these, like, the ones, even though he's a rookie and like he's not Pat Surtain or anything, but he tends to pick those up. So it's what can Terrion Arnold do in terms of limiting Justin Jefferson while they double Jordan Addison? Like, Justin Jefferson's going to get fed the ball, so it's Justin Jefferson or bust. He's going to have to beat the Lions. What can Terrion Arnold do to just slow him down some? Can he be chippy enough, get in his head a little bit, keep him under, like that's what it comes down to for me. Because Jordan Addison's going to get doubled. TJ Hawkinson's going to get, whatever. And I think they're just going to say, Jet has beat us.
Jet has beat us?
Jet has beat us.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I'm just going to go based off of what team's more complete, like players-wise, health-wise. I'm not saying like complete as like schemes or anything. Just like what team has more healthy players? Vikings. So I'm going to go Vikings in this one.
All right. It could come down to this. Okay, so we got to roll through some of these games that are just they're playoff games. These are playoff games that we're going to talk about next. We got Panthers versus Falcons in the 11 o'clock slot on Sunday. This is, if they win, they've got a shot at winning the division.
Panthers are looking good right now.
I know. I'm taking the Panthers.
I'm taking the Panthers.
All right.
Panthers looking good right
Let's
now.
go. Panthers all the way. So then that means we've got Saints Bucks. That's the other playoff game. Winning, you're in basically for the Bucks if the Panthers can beat the Falcons. And like this game, Baker and the guys should be out of there by the third quarter.
Yeah,
like,
100%.
They'll probably play the third quarter just to be sure.
Yeah.
And then they should be out of there by the third quarter. So give me the Bucks.
Yeah, give me the Bucks as well.
Okay. All right, so we are doubled up there. Now, the other two playoff games, this time in the AFC, we have the Finns versus the Jets. The Jets are playing for nothing. So the Finns are going to win this game.
Yeah.
And if the Broncos lose and the Bengals lose, the Finns make the playoffs.
Yeah.
So the Finns are going to win this game against the Jets and put the pressure on the Broncos.
Yeah, and it was last game versus the Bills. I think it was like 33-0, and Aaron hadn't thrown for a touchdown, so he was like, you know what, probably we should put the backup in, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not playing well, so I think he might not even play.
He might not even play, and I think if he doesn't play, it means he's going to come back next year. If he plays, it might mean that it's his last go.
Yeah.
Now, here's the asterisk with this whole game. I really want to put an asterisk on this. If you're going to go with me with the Finns, we should put an asterisk on this. If it's below 40 degrees, the Jets will win the game, even if Tyrell Taylor's playing.
Tua didn't play last week.
I know.
So is he playing this week?
I don't know.
Or is it Tyler Huntley?
I don't know.
Okay, you get an asterisk, but I get an asterisk.
Who are you taking?
I will take the Jets if Tyler Huntley is playing. If Tua's playing, I'm taking the Dolphins.
Okay, so your asterisk is Tua, and okay, so then I don't want my asterisk then. I don't want my asterisk then. If you're gonna go with me on the Finns, then I'll give us both the asterisk of 40 degrees.
No, I want Tua's more important than 40 degrees with me.
Okay, so you're going Jets
unless Tua isn't playing.
Unless Tua isn't playing?
No, I'm going. If Tua's playing, I'm going Dolphins.
Okay.
If Tua's not playing, I'm going Jets.
Okay. I'm being real generous on this one.
What? It's a starting quarterback.
Yeah, but it's okay.
It's the same thing as like if Nick Bosa's not playing, I'm not taking the 49ers.
So if Tua doesn't play, you're going to take So if Tua doesn't play, you're taking the Jets.
Yes. So just think about it like this. I'm taking the Jets unless Tua plays.
Okay. All right. I'm being generous here.
Okay.
Fine. Chiefs versus Broncos here. This is in Mile High. The Chiefs allegedly aren't going to play Patrick, and they shouldn't if they don't want to see Joe Burrow in the playoffs.
Who is it? It's not
Carson Wentz is
It
their
is
backup.
Carson
Wentz is their backup. I got to take the Broncos. I got to take my boys in this game. They're going to be coming out, just guns a-blazing in this game. The question is Bo going to get too hyped up with the guns a-blazing? Like, we need to go out and win this game, and he's going to be nervous and have happy feet and throw picks in the middle of the field for no reason. It's not going to be that cold, I don't think. I haven't checked the weather, but it's not supposed to be that cold. It could be pretty windy, but the running game's starting to come on for us, which is a good thing going into the playoffs. Audric Estime and Jaleel McLaughlin, who is Javonte Williams. Sorry, Pookie, but those two have been awesome the last two games. Jaleel's the closest running back for the Broncos in some absurd thing like 24 games to a 100-yard rusher. So I think they look good enough to me. I think the Chiefs are going to be pretty much resting their guys across the board. They've locked up the 1 seed. There is actually no reason for them to play. Like, they've got the 1 seed, and then on top of that, they don't want to see Joe Burrow. So, like, there's absolutely no reason for them to play
their
starters.
culture is the opposite of Dan Campbell.
Right.
Their culture is
save and protect.
Save and protect. Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, I just don't, there's just no reason in my mind that they should play their guys, and it's a fraudulent win, but the Broncos should win this game.
Yeah.
So.
And I'm gonna be nice to you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be nice. I'm not gonna evict the curse. All right. And it's not.
It's not
just,
a primetime spot.
It's
though.
not just it's not even a pity pick. There's something about Carson Wentz that tickles my funny bone.
All right, so you're gonna go Carson Wentz. You're just trying to pick. Okay, that's fine. It's not primetime, so you could, but I'll take it. Okay, so we've got all our primetime games. We have the 2-minute drill coming up. It's a bunch of games that don't really matter that could go either way because who knows who's going to be playing quarterback and a bunch of other positions at this point. So let's get into our 2-minute drill. I'm still going to give us 2 minutes even though there's less games because we have to kind of like interject some things.
All right.
So we are starting in 3, 2, 1.
Set hot!
Texans, Titans. We have no idea who's going to play for the Titans. I don't think the Texans are going to play anyone because they have a playoff spot.
Give me the Titans.
You're going to take the Titans?
I've taken them like 4 weeks.
Okay, give me the Texans. Bills, Pats. Josh is going to start the first snap and hand it off and then walk off the field. It's going to be Drake May. What do you want?
Shoot. I'm throwing this week. I'm throwing so hard. Give me the Patriots.
Okay.
With how it looked last week, or not 2 weeks ago, give me the Patriots.
I kind of like that game with you. But they're just such a more complete team with Mitch Trubisky, even with Mitch Trubisky. But I'll go with you. I'll go Pats with you.
Hell yeah.
Jags, Colts here, Mac Attack. I think they're going to play Joe Flacco because AR didn't play this week. So,
and they're officially out.
This game means absolutely nothing for both franchises.
I've heard a lot of shit about how the Colts are weak in the head.
Yeah.
They got gentle bones.
Want to go Jags?
Yeah, I'm going to go Jags. And they got soup for brains. They're not tough.
Let's go Mac Attack. Okay, Mando's boys. This game means nothing for both franchises except for just trying to save McCarthy's job. I don't think that Jaden Daniels plays, but Marcus Mariota's pretty good at football, so give me the Mandos.
Yeah, give me the Mandos as well. CD's out. I mean, with Micah, he's got weak bones as well. I wouldn't be surprised if he takes this game off.
Okay, we got 36 seconds here. The last ones don't matter. Giants, Eagles, both backup quarterbacks. Who knows here? Give me the Eagles.
Yeah, give me the Eagles, the record.
Yeah, give me the Eagles, the record. They're probably going to do it and then get him out of there. Bears, Packers, rivalry game. The Packers are going to win it with Malik Willis because
they've done it before.
Yeah.
Yeah, give me the Packers.
Okay. Shit. Here we go. Now we've got Seahawks, Rams. I'm assuming the Rams aren't going to play anyone because they've already locked their division up. So it's a meaningless game.
Yeah.
So
let's just go. Give me.
I'm gonna go Seahawks.
Okay. Son of a bitch.
We suck.
I don't get the pick. So it works.
Seahawks, Rams.
Give me the Rams.
Okay, you want Rams. All right. Chargers, Raiders. I don't think they're Chargers. I think it's going to be Tyler Heineke probably versus whoever.
Give me the Raiders.
Raiders?
Why not?
Okay. Yeah, you know what? Give me the Raiders. They had a 100-yard rusher this week.
Hell yeah.
Niners, Cardinals. Another game that means nothing for both franchises. And Josh Dobbs versus probably Kyler Murray, maybe. Yeah. Give me Dobbs.
You want Dobbs?
Yeah.
Shoot, give me Marvin Harrison Jr. again. I don't know. I just want to see him thrive.
Okay. I don't think they're going to play Kyler. There's no reason for them to. Okay, there it is. Week 18 is hard.
Yeah.
Week 18 is really tough, so we'll see what happens in it. We went together on the majority of the 11 o'clock slot, and then 2 o'clock's kind of just all over the place. But some good football here. I kind of just want to – the only 3 games I want to watch are the Bengals Steelers, Chiefs Broncos, and Vikings Lions.
Yeah.
I really don't want to watch any other of these
I'm so
other games.
glad Vikings Lions prime time.
I know.
Oh, that's
They did so well on that one. So
you know what we should do for that?
What?
Buy a 30 rack, put the mics on for that one.
We could.
Yeah.
We could. Yeah. So, those are the only games I want to watch. I don't – like, none of these other games are worth the time.
Yeah.
At all. So, there it is, guys. Happy Christmas.
That was a pretty quick one.
That was a pretty quick one. In and out. Week 18 is pretty easy. So,
like your mother.
All right. I'm Devin. That's Zane. This is Buffet Sports. As you can see, merch is not coming soon. And we talked about Week 17, all the quarterbacks and some of the best things that made us smile. Drew Lock's a legend.
Yeah, and a sleeper cell.
I think that pretty much wraps it. I think that's it. Catch us on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram right here. Ka-chow.
Yeah, okay, good morning, afternoon, and evening. It's the guy you should believe in. Dropping heat like every season. Underdog like Willie Beeman. Classic like